I went through a lot of mistakes: protective style damage, product damage, having to cut my locks off, having to join some. Were you saying, gals? Welcome back to my YouTube channel where we live life the affordable way. My name is Monique. If you clicked on this video that you're a little bit curious on how to start your loc journey, before we dive into how to start your loc journey, let me just give you a brief history on my locks. I've currently been locked for 5 years. I started with the comb coil method. I have about 75 locks in my hair. As to date, no, I do not have an even number. No, I didn't worry about parts when I started. No, I didn't know anything about locks when I started. So I know this video is going to help somebody who's just starting, or who is curious about starting, or who's currently in their loc journey and a little bit lost. When I first started my locks were very short, and I talking short. I started with comb coils. Like I say, my hair was not natural. I had perm hair, so I feel like it did take its time when it comes to forming. But however, locks was always something that I wanted to do. I was just shy to do it because, number one, when I asked my mom to get it in high school, she's like, no. You know, there was a lot of stigma behind it back then. And then when I became older, my boyfriend suggested, he's like, hey, you should try locks. And then the thought came back in my mind, like, I'm wearing wigs anyway, so why not? So I started my loc journey. From there on, I let my cousin start me. I did not go to a loctician. I started at home. She started me right in the front room at home. She had locks in her hair, so she was a bit trained in that aspect of doing locks herself, because she used to retwist people's hair where she was from. However, my cousin did not live where I live, so this was basically a start. I can start you, but you gotta follow through with it. So I had to figure out a lot of things along the way myself. When it came to the stages, I had to figure it out. When it came to the stylist, I had to figure it out. When it came to learning how to do my hair myself, I had to figure it out. When it came to products, I had to figure it out. When it came to just accepting my hair for what it was, and compare my locks, I had to figure it out. So my loc journey was really a journey. I went through a lot of mistakes: protective style damage, product damage, having to cut my locks off, having to join some early on in the stage. So this is why I am so eligible to help you on your loc journey. Now let's get into how to actually start your locks. To start your locks, there are several different ways. You have comb coils, you have 2-strand twists, you have braids, you have instant lock. Let's talk about comb coils. Comb coils uses the fine teeth comb, and they basically coil all of your hair. I personally feel like comb coil is one of the best methods to start with, because your loc actually goes through the process. Like, it's no skipping around, it's no nothing. Like, your locks are literally forming. So however that coil is in your head, that is going to be the start of your foundation. Now, if you're somebody like more into styling or how your hair look, then I suggest you start with 2-strand twists, because 2-strand twists within itself is already a style. However, 2-strand twist takes a little bit longer to form and fully into a loc. The end of the 2-strand twist is still be visible up until 2-3 years in. So I started with comb coils, and then I had to 2-strand twist one, and I noticed that one with a 2-strand twist still didn't form as much as my locks form. But comb coils is the way to go, especially if you want your locks to lock faster. Now, I'm not gonna touch on instant locks and freeform and semi-freeform. When you're starting your loc journey, parts matter. Now, this matter for several reasons. As for me, I didn't really care about the part. Like, my hair could fall however I wanted to fall. I'm satisfied. I'm a female. However you do have some people out there who want their hair to be a certain way. So if you want a middle part, make that known to the loctician. If you want your hair to lay a certain way, let's just say you want a side part, you want your hair to fall a certain way on the side, make that known to the loctician. If you want your hair, you know, to look a certain way when it goes up in one, so the perimeter of your hair, make that known to the loctician, because your parts will definitely determine what size your locks is going to be, and it's going to determine how your hair is going to fall. As for me, I am perfectly fine with how my hair turned out, and I love it. But as for somebody else, they might be more, you know, strategic and want their hair to lay a certain way. So parts. Another thing you should know when you start in your locks is you should know how thick you want your locks to be. Whether you get comb coils or you get 2-strand, your hair will eventually become thick. Now this also depends on genetics, it depends on your part size, as we touch on, and it also depends on, you know, basically your hair type and what kind of hair you have. My hair was very thick when I first started. Now I'm somebody who naturally has thin hair. When I get locks, I was very shocked to see that my hair was even thick. I was a little questionable in that aspect of it. When I was shorter, I feel like my locks were a bit thicker, and as the longer as they grow, they're curled now, so you cannot really see, but the longer they grow, I feel like the skinnier it's getting. So all of this you want to keep in mind. You want to make sure that you get the right part. You make sure that you're starting with the right method, because if you want fine locks, that's neither comb coils nor 2-strand twists. That's sister locks, and that's a whole different video within itself. What you should know when you're starting your locks is that moisture is very important. Now people tend to downplay moisture in the Loc journey. They make it seem as though, okay, yes, you can just get up out of the bed and you can go. Yes, you can do that. However, locks need moisture. If your locks is dry, it can literally fall off your head or pop off the ends. Like, locks need moisture, and you have to be somebody who's willing to stick to a routine every day, because your hair needs a routine. Just because you have locks does not mean you neglect your hair. You have to mist your hair and you have to moisturize your hair just so your locks can be healthy, your scalp can be nourished, you can have healthy growing locks, you can be satisfied in the end. Like, who doesn't want to be satisfied? As for me, my moisture routine is literally rosemary water and Jamaican black castor oil. That's the routine that works for me. However, I've been trying out this brand, Localicious, where she also sells the set, and you can literally get the Localicious growth oil and hydrating mist, and this is a daily bundle that you can use if you don't have any of those that I mentioned above. If you want to use the all natural one that I talk about, the rosemary water, I'll link a video to the top that you can reference to make your own. But you have to have an oil and you have to have a mist. Like, you have to have those two, because the oil needs to be sealed in, and all of this is going to help with growth. It's going to help with, you know, the health of your hair. Is going to help with nourishment. The thing that you should know when you're starting your locks is hair density. I want you to know, if you have thin hair, you will have thin locks. If you have thick hair, you will have thick locks. However, your loctician can do her best by manipulating it. When I first started my locks, something I always used to ask myself was, I wonder how long my locks can take to mature. I wonder how long this can take. Well, your Loc journey can literally range from anywhere from 6 to 2 years to mature. It all depends on your Loc journey. It all depends on what you're doing to maintain your lock. If you're staying in a routine, your locks will mature in the time that it's supposed to mature. As for me, my locks took literally 1 year to mature, and I could literally see progress within 6 months. That's something that you can also keep in mind. Another thing that you should always keep in mind is no Loc journey is perfect. Yes, there will be Loc mistakes made, but it's evident that you can avoid these mistakes. So some Loc mistakes are, beware of buildup. Buildup causes, you know, a lot of product to be in your hair, and it's very hard to remove. Beware of tight styles. I know you might want to see your hair all dolled up and nice and flourishing and, you know, the nice little pretty style, but tight styles can lead to breakage. Tight curl can lead to thinning. Another thing that you should be aware of, you cannot care for your locks like how you would care for your natural hair. So that means the deep conditioning, the products that you see inside the store where they say, oh, this is for locks, this is for locks. Please do your research on those products and make sure you see at least somebody in the Loc community using it. Take note of how their locks look, because some products are very damaging to your hair. What you will need on your Loc journey is you need a healthy oil, you need a healthy gel, healthy mist in your hair. So that's like rosemary water, distilled water, rose water. You need to have some form of silk sheath, silk bonnet. This is so you can cover your hair to prevent lint. You also need to know how tight is too tight. Do not sit down and get your hair done and you literally feel your scalp getting pulled on. Keep in mind, that's your head, that's going to be your locks. You don't want nobody to damage your lock. Always know how tight is too tight when it comes to your Loc journey. And my last tip for if you're starting your Loc journey or how to start your locks is beware of Loc envy. Loc envy is a serious thing. Loc envy, like, you may be so fascinated on somebody locks and you're expecting your locks to come out exactly like that, and 9 times out of 10 your locks ain't coming out like how that person locks coming out. 9 times out of 10 you don't know what that person gone through on their loc journey. 9 times out of 10 it can literally manipulate your mind and have you starting over and over and over and over until you get the desired look. That's still not gonna happen because you don't know the genetics or what happened behind the scene of that person locks. So try not to loc envy. Like, it's good to admire, you know, admire somebody locks. Like, yeah, I have this, I want my locks to be something like this, but don't want your locks to be exactly like that, because that can mess up your journey and also mess up your heart because your locks didn't turn out like how the person you were envying locks turn out. So I just want you to always keep that in mind. If I can give you any tip for if you're starting your loc journey, it would definitely be enjoy the process and be patient. Locs is a journey, and the journey is going to be whatever you make it. Like, everybody has a different story when it comes to their journey. Some people had it easy, some people had it hard, some people is literally currently dealing with mistakes, and some people just had a midlife crisis. So I just want you to enjoy the journey, and I wish you all the best on your loc journey. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoy these loc videos, be sure to subscribe and join the family.